Welcome back, everybody. It's Joni here at Joni's Journals. Let me just adjust my chair. And as you can see, I have out my scoreboard, which means we are going to be making something, okay? And what we are going to be making, we are first of all going to be utilizing Tracy's new kit, Creepy Creep. We're going to be using the ephemera, some of the pages, and what we are going to do is we are going to create a creepy vignette. Now, I know that a lot of you may not have a Tim Holtz vignette box that you can use, or you just simply don't want to purchase them or whatever, okay? So you know me, I don't ever want to make something where I'm expecting someone to have what I have. And so I try to work around it and make something that everyone can make, unless, of course, it's a case where I am distinctly doing a Tim Holtz video and distinctly using his items. And then that's up to you if you want to use what I might have, but I don't want to expect that everyone has what I have in every video that I create. Okay? Now, what we are going to be making in our little creepy vignette is some little rooms. This one I am calling the Haunted Dollhouse, okay? And as you can see, I have a little doll here who has been splattered with blood. We have this creepy tall doll who you might say is a, I don't know, distorted Barbie doll. And then I have this little doll who has a noose around her neck. Now, I must confess that I went on and I created yet another vignette, which is not, as my daughter calls it, morbid, because I thought that we could still be creepy without being morbid, okay? When I made it, my daughter said, "Ma, that's so morbid." My husband giggled and laughed, and I knew this was not the one that we were going to make on camera, but I did want to show it to you in case you want to be as morbid as me. Now, what I do want to show you that's not as morbid is the other side of the box, because I did use the same idea on the other one that I'm going to show you. And it has a little opening door. And inside is this spooky skull staring back at you. Okay? I will put this one aside for now. For those of you who might be queasy, I'm going to put it back up on my shelf because I am going to use it as a Halloween decoration because, hey, Halloween can be creepy spooky or it can just be spooky spooky, okay? Because then what I did was I went from creating the morbid haunted dollhouse to creating the haunted playroom. Okay, and in this case, there's no one hanging from the ceiling. No one has blood all over them. But I did utilize some of the same pieces of ephemera. I have this little creepy guy peeking through the window, and I have this little creepy little girl coming through what I made into a door, and she's sort of busting through. And there is, of course, a raven in the kit, and I had to use that. And he's glued on, but he's made so that he can flip back because I want to show you that other creepy little boy who's coming up through the floor. Now, in this case, we also have, well, here's another little creepy girl coming out of the wall. We also have another spooky door where I put a little paper fastener as a doorknob instead of using the string, because on the other one with the string, if you noticed, I won't show you the morbid part. The door really won't stay shut because I tied it on each side. I did, of course, add another little noose to kind of symbolize our little hanging doll there. I think it's funny. I'm sorry. But so I just used a paper fastener, And this way you can just pull this one open and we have yet another version of a creepy skull peeking out through the door. Boo. Okay? So I think we will work more along this version, which is a little less morbid, but still as spooky. I've prepared items, which I'm going to make these videos in parts because it is very long and detailed. So yeah, I'm going to show you what I have later on. But what I used was papers from Tracy's kit. And then also, if you know the kit, she gives us collage strips. Okay, and in this case, I cut out the collage strips. You can see they're a little bit smaller than the edges of my box, but what I found was that if I printed them at a little bit of a larger size, 95% in fact, they do kind of fit the box a little bit better. But I'm not really bothered by that because what I do is I go around and I ink all my edges in black so that you really, if you're going to pick it up and go, oh, wow, that's, not the right size, I don't think anybody's going to do that. So my edges are inked in black. And so if they're a little bit smaller, I don't really care. But you can see I lined all the sides of my frames using the collage strips. Here's the little raven's tail because I did glue him around and made him kind of sit stiff so that he's there. And again, the collage strips are on the bottom. And these are just simply pages from the kit. If you go and you look, if you purchase the kit, you'll see that there is a page that is looks like a metal wall with one rusty plate. And that's what I used to create my little door. But what we're gonna do in this video, and I'm just gonna put that one back up there too, because that is going to be a Halloween decoration as well. I'm just going to take a sip of my drink because I said so much that my throat is dry. Now what you're going to need, those two little vignettes started out with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So if you don't have a scoreboard, what you're going to do is I want a 3-inch frame around the edge of my box. Let me just take this down. This is 3 inches. No, this is 1.5 inches. I'm sorry, I don't want a 3 inch. We're going to make it 3 inches, but this is 1.5 inches here, okay? So the sides are 1.5 inches tall. The interior of the box, the back wall, this section, is 6 by 6, okay? In order to get 6 by 6, out of a 12 by 12, we need to bring it in 3 inches on each side, okay? We're taking 6 inches off the edges by bringing it in 3 inches on each side. So what you're gonna do, either using your ruler, whichever works out best for you, or your scoreboard, which is what I am using, you are gonna make your first score at 10.5, okay? So that's 1.5 inches. And then you're going to make your second score at 9, okay? That's a total of 3 inches, but it gives us a 1.5 inch fold over. Then on the other side, you are going to score at 1.5, okay? And you're going to score again at 3, okay? So you have 1.5, 3, 9, and 10.5, okay? If you're using a different kind of paper, a decorative paper, maybe a directional paper, you'll want to be aware of the direction of your paper because how you ultimately end up using your box, you may have to just adjust your sizes. Okay, so we had the 1.5, 3, 9, 10.5. We're going to turn it 180 degrees, and we're going to do the same thing on the other two sides. So we're going to go 10.5 again, and we're going to go 9 again, and we're going to go 1.5 again. You may say, why am I working from right to left? Because my tripod's in the way. Okay, 1.5 and then 3. Okay, now I am just going to put that aside and put my scoreboard away without hitting the camera, surprisingly. Okay, and what you are left with is this, okay? Now you can see, hopefully, maybe if I do it on the other side, you might be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, you have these little corners here, okay? What we need out of each of these corners is a little flap to fold in to hold our box together. Now, I am going to admit to you that each of those 2 vignettes that I already showed you were both totally done in 2 different ways until I said to my husband this morning, I need your help. Please help me reduce the bulk when I fold all of this together, okay? And he, with the common sense and knowledge of just how to make things, again, I'm very lucky, told me how to cut this. And it's not something I haven't done before. It's just I had a brain a brain freeze. I just could not figure out how to do this. What I'm going to do is I am going to just make little pencil marks. Okay, I'm going to make a pencil mark here, and I'm going to make a pencil mark here, and I'm going to make a pencil mark here. Because what you end up with when you do all that cutting is you end up with 4 little boxes. You are going to get rid of 3 of those boxes. And so we're also going to be cutting here. Okay, so we're going to cut off most of this entire corner on each side. Okay, so I'm going to start doing that so that you can see what I'm doing. At least I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to cut up, and then I'm just going to turn it, okay? And I'm going to cut up on this side, okay? And then I am going to, this is a little bit fiddly for me to show you and do it at the same time. I'm then going to cut here along this line, okay, like so. And oh, I knew I was going to bang into you. And then I'm going to cut up here like so. And what you are going to be left with is a corner that looks like that. So you're taking out the 3 little cubes out of your corner, and you're only left with this piece. Okay, so I'm just going to show you again without doing the pencil marks. I'm going to cut up on this side like so. And if you cut a little further than you think you might or should, it's okay. And then I'm going to cut up like so. There is an easier way to do this, and I would do it that way, but I want you guys to see what I'm doing. And I'm going to cut up, and I am going to cut again. You're cutting on your score lines, guys. Okay. And I'm going to cut up on this side, on this score line here as well, like so. And again, you're going to end up with a corner that looks like that. All right. Maybe if I fold on my score lines, it might be easier for you to tell where I'm cutting. I just know that working on the white, it might be difficult for you to see. So I'm cutting up here, and then I'm going to cut up here. You can also cut out the cubes individually if you want to, but ultimately you want to keep that one cube. Let me do it that way for you. I'm going to cut out the cubes individually, okay? We're going to cut this one off like so. Okay, so you have that. And then I'm just going to cut this cube off over here on this side, okay? So you end up with that. And then I think what I'll do on this one is I will go and I will cut out each cube individually for you. I know I moved you again. I'm going to cut up, And then I'm gonna cut across on my score line, okay? So what you're doing is you're cutting out that first set of cubes, okay? And then you're gonna cut out this last cube. And I'm saying cube because they end up to be 4 little squares, okay? And I'm gonna cut up on that cube there. Okay, so you end up with a piece of paper that will look like this. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of all of my little cubes here, like so. Let's just get them out of the way. And then what you want to do is, because you need a flap to fold from each side to secure your box, because you have to secure this side to this side and this side to this side and this side to this side so that you have a solid box, what you need to do is you need to give a slice in each of these little cubes that are left once you've cut the other 3 cubes off. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut this way on this one, turn it, this way on this one, turn it, this way on this one, turn it, and this way on this one. And I'm going to do it because I'm going to show you how it works, okay? As long as you're cutting only one side on your score mark of your cube, you're going to end up with a piece that looks like this. Now you're going to turn it, and you're going to cut on the score line here, okay? Like so. I'm just giving it a little bit of a snip. Now you have 2 that are bending in opposite directions. So you have one doing this and one doing this, okay? Now you want to cut this side going up again, okay? On the inside like so. And now you have 3 going in 3 different directions, if I can just grab a hold of it. This way, and this way. This is important because it helps to stabilize your sides and glue it all together, okay? Now you're going to turn this one, and if it helps, you can fold them to see. You can look and you say, oh, this one folds in. I need this one to fold up. And you're going to cut this one up again. And so now you have 4 flaps folding in different directions, okay? Now, what I do, because it makes it easier when I want to disguise my little edges, is I will fold in my edges and I will go along and I will ink every available edge. And in this case, I ink everything in black. I have been using my Distress ink in Black Soot. And so let me just grab the right one. Okay, that's my little one that has the black on it. I go in now at this point and I will ink all of these edges. Okay, I'm going to ink that edge. I'm going to ink this edge. Okay, I'm just showing you. I have one already prepared. I will ink this edge. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Got the hiccups from my drink. And then I will go and I will ink this edge and I will ink this edge. And I go around and I make sure and I ink every edge. Okay. And what I will end up with after I have done all of my inking, I'm just going to put that one to the side, is I will have something that looks like this. Now you're going to say, yeah, Joni, but you didn't ink those. Well, that's because those are the flaps that fold in, and I don't need to ink those, okay? But you can see everything is inked in black that is going to be seen. I even ink both sides of the corners of my flap, okay? So once you've gone and you've cut all your flaps, again, you can see one is in, one is up, one is in, and one is down, okay? Just like we cut before. I cut off all the little cubes off of these edges here. See, that's how it was when it was all one piece. This is the piece that I cut off, thanks to my hubby, to make just a single little fold flap. Now we are going to put our box together, okay? As soon as I find my glue, and this is the glue I just used a few minutes ago in my last video. If you haven't seen that, we made some spooky tags. So go on over and check that out. Now what we're going to do is we are going to put glue along all of the edges of our flaps, okay? And we're going to fold over our long edges on each side. Yes, I hit you again, and I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to put glue along here, and I'm going to put glue all along here, and a little bit in the middle just because. Okay, and then I'm going to fold that flap over. Okay, and then we're going to do it again for this side, and hopefully my glue will keep working through all of this. And we'll get it done. See the edges I didn't ink? They don't show anyway. Okay, I'm going to push that down like that. We still have our little flaps. Okay, and this is the last one. And we are just going to go around like this and add a little bit in the middle. And now we have all of our edges glued down, okay? And that gives us our 1.5 inch frame right here, okay? I am just going to grab, I'm going to grab my bone folder and a white pencil, apparently. I'm just going to grab my bone folder, and I'm going to go around, and I'm just going to make sure that everything is glued down and all my edges are sharp, okay? Because we don't want anything popping up, because we are going to decorate this, and we're going to decorate it in the next video, because this one's almost a half hour and I don't want to keep you guys too long. Okay, so now we have all of our edges. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring up our edges, and we are going to glue in our little flaps. And you see how it works? Okay. You have your little flap on each end, and that will stabilize your box. Okay, so I hope you saw that. I am going to start adding glue to my little flaps here, and some of them may be folded a little bit crooked or cut a little bit crooked. And so if you're finding that you see that, you can just kind of give it a little nip. This one's a little bit crooked, and then I'm just going to grab my black ink and I'm going to go over it again, okay? And I'm going to add some glue on this side of my flap. Make sure that I get it all around the edges. And I'm going to pick this side up, and I am going to pick up this side, and I'm just going to glue it together, okay? Like so. Okay, can you see that inside there? Okay, we have our edge glued down. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put glue all around the edges here. And I'm going to pick up this side. You may have seen me doing this when I was putting together some of the matchboxes. I think it was at Christmas time. Some of Tracy's matchboxes from her Christmas kit. Okay, so now you have two corners glued in. I'm going to grab this one, and again I'm going to go around the edges, and I hope you guys are seeing why it matters how you cut out your flaps. Okay, I'm going to tuck that one in up there, and I'm going to bring this up here like this, and I'm just going to push it down like so. And of course I didn't quite get it perfect, but that's okay. It'll work out anyway. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to have to turn the box so you may not see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm putting glue around all of the edges, and I'm going to bring that last flap in like so. Make sure your corners meet, which mine don't on this side. And I'm wondering, nope, I can't really do too much about that. All right, so we have one lopsided corner on our box. So you learn from my mistakes. So now you have formulated the box for your little vignette. And believe it or not, it actually will stand up for you, okay? So that's it for this video. We've made our box. Next video, we're going to come back and we're going to decorate our box. And depending on how long that takes, we may come back again and add all of our little people to it, okay? But yeah, in the next video, we'll be decorating, okay? And I'll be telling you what you need to cut out, and so you can get your box decorated as well. Okay, guys? So I'm going to send you lots of love and big hugs and ask you to please forgive me for disappearing for so long. And please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.